Well, I continuously shake my head at how much fabrication is going on. People make things up out of whole cloth. The one report you're referring to says that Robert Hannigan, the head of GCHQ, which is Great Britain's NSA equivalent, came over and delivered information to me that involved the Trump campaign. No such visit or meeting took place. I didn't put eyes on the Steele dossier until December of 2016, after the election.
Right.
But yet people claim that I was the one that was sharing it around town and briefing it. That is not true. And so I think what it shows that Mr. Trump, with his continued emphasis on lying and fabrication and untruths, falsehoods, it just feeds this and it encourages others to do it.
Right.
And this is what I think is really so corrosive on our country and our government today.
Can I just follow up real quick? I know you just specifically denied the notion of the meeting with the gentleman from GCHQ. Are you more in a more general way saying that the broader narrative, the notion that the beginning of the counterintelligence investigation began with some kinds of tips from allies based on signal intelligence? Are you making a broader claim there, or are you just specifically refuting the notion that that one story that you referred to is false?
Well, my response to you was related to that one specific story. CIA, during the course of 2016, worked very closely with our domestic partners, and if there were opportunities to work with foreign partners to try to understand what Russia was doing, not what U.S. persons or U.S. officials were doing, but what the Russians were doing to try to undermine us. And I shared information with Jim Comey and with the White House, as well as with the folks on the Hill, to make sure that there was a complete awareness of the things that we knew in terms of what Russia was doing. So, but again, I keep reading stories that are fiction, and that's what they should be titled.
Director Brennan, David Ignatius again. Broad final question. So as the planners in Moscow of this active measures program, this attempt to interfere in our elections, look back 2 years later at what's happened, what do you suppose they say to themselves about the outcome?
Well, I think they're quite pleased by how disruptive their campaign has been on U.S. politics. As you said, here we are 60 months past the inauguration of a new president, yet our entire political system seems to continue to be almost paralyzed in many respects as a result of this dispute about what the Russians were doing. The Russians were trying to undermine the integrity of the election because they believed that anything that is done to hurt the United States of America, anything that hurts the government, benefits them. And so when I think about the last 16 months, I think Mr. Putin and others are quite content that they were able to disrupt the politics, the government of the greatest country in the world.
So, Director Brennan, let's end the interview where we began, with your new op-ed out this morning in the Washington Post entitled, "I will speak out until integrity returns to the White House." And I want to read a bit of it here. You say, quote, "The esteem with which I held the presidency was dealt a serious blow when Donald Trump took office. For more than 3 decades, I observed and analyzed the traits and tactics of corrupt, incompetent, and narcissistic foreign officials who did whatever they thought necessary to retain power.